Welcome back to another episode of Put It on the List. We have an exciting show today. We talk about some trailers, a little bit of news, and we recap what could be the show of the year? Question mark? I don't know. We'll see. Let's start the show. I'm Francisco, and I'm here with the Empire's personal banker, ready to do an audit, Andres.
Damn right. How you doing?
What's up? The logistic master? What's going on?
Too many logistics. But it's all good, man. Just recovering from Thanksgiving, which was this past like 4 days, something like that. I'm still kind of like, did I make good choices? To be determined.
Yeah.
What were the bad choices that you made?
Well, actually, like, I'll start with like I'm like half proud, half shameful. You know, like I'm proud of my dinner plate. I didn't overdo it, and I had the right amount of different things. You know what I'm saying?
You got
like,
your ratios going with the greens.
Yeah, I got yeah. I mean, I wish I had a little bit more gravy, but you know, a little gravy, an ounce of gravy more, whatever. But the reason I did that was because I was gonna go in on some desserts. Man, there was a cookie pie, a couple of homemade cheesecakes, a pumpkin flan, Julian apple pie. Oh my God, there was, what else was there? Oh, s'mores cookies, and yeah. So I was like, I'll just have one of each. I thought.
All right. I think I know.
So that's my bad choice.
Thanksgiving. Wow.
Yeah, man. Oh man. But the winner. I mean, it was a toss up between lemon cheesecake, my sister made, and a Nutella cheesecake she made. Oh shit is right, sir.
Damn, I feel like downright innocent. I feel like they should put me on the cover of like Weight Watchers, considering we only had one dessert. But damn, It was like it was a labor of love. We did pecan pie. Yeah. But I took apart a bunch of recipes and figured out, I saw a technique where someone browns the butter ahead of time, and I was like, oh shit. So that happened, and then I forgot what else I did to kind of like spruce it up to the next level. It was the shit. It was awesome. I love pecan pie.
Me too. It's always different. Like I haven't mastered it yet, so you know what I'm saying. It's always it's like my nemesis, and I think I gave up a couple of years ago.
It's like been 4. This is our 4th or 5th attempt. 3 have been really good. One was not great, and this one was great. And every time we take notes, so we have a big document that we just keep writing everything in. And I think this time we finally and we nailed it. I think we're both feeling really good. Like this is the one.
That's cool.
Dude, here's the other shit that I made. Speaking of gravy, oh man! So I did this thing. We made ham for Thanksgiving, and I want to try something different instead of turkey. I'm like, turkey gets a little dry. I like ham. I'll eat ham every day of the week, no problem. And I wanted to make a gravy with it. So I was like, is there like a ham gravy? There's got to be. So I found a recipe where I used like all the juices from the ham, because dude, I tinted my ham and it came off. I had like 2 or 3 cups of ham juice. And so I just took a cup of that, threw it in a pot, mixed it with some cornstarch and some butter, and then some milk at the very end after to thicken it. Dude, that shit was magical. Ham gravy. Google that, people.
I love when you talk dirty to me.
Oh, man, dude, you would freak out. And then, like, we used it all the last 2 or 3 days. We're putting on eggs and biscuits, on everything. Like our salad.
I put that shit on everything.
Dude, it was awesome. And we used cornstarch instead of flour to kind of, like, lighten it up a little bit. But holy crap. Ham gravy, people. Google it. You're welcome. Okay. I got to stop freaking out about that. Let's get into some news.
All right, here we go. First, we're gonna little chat of the World Cup recap for the first week.
Little check-in. How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
My soul is broken.
Is it? Why is that?
Like Mexico's on the verge of not making it to the second round. Yeah. And let me walk you real quick through the game on Saturday between Argentina and Mexico. And I was conflicted going in because Lionel Messi to me is like, there's like Michael Jordan and then Lionel Messi, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's it. And I want him to win the World Cup, to have that title under his belt. And so I wanted him to do good. And at first he scored the goal and I was like, okay. I feel a little weird, but okay. And then it just went downhill. I was like, after that, I mean, the game wasn't pretty to watch to begin with. And it just kept getting worse. And by the end of the game, I was full on anger. Just like, I'm glad I don't know any Argentinians. Sorry out there.
A sloppy game.
It was like neither team was letting each other play. They were like kicking each other a lot and not letting any of the flow happen. And Argentina, they're quicker on the ball overall. So and the talent's a little bit lopsided, and they were able to capitalize a couple times. And yeah, it just was not happening for us. So now it's like, oh, you got to win and you got to hope that this happens and this happens. And so there's a lot of that.
And you should probably mention Argentina. They lost their opening game, which was like insanity. What was that? One of the biggest upsets of all time, period.
Yeah, it was in shock. It was a big shock too, because not only that, but the opponent, you know what I'm saying? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I think they're still celebrating that shit right now from like a week ago. Motherfuckers are dancing and smoking the hookah or whatever they do to celebrate. But yeah. So
the Saudi Arabian goalkeeper, I saw the highlights. That dude was on fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he had a lot of good stops. Yeah, there's been Japan beat Germany. That's a shocker. Spain beat Costa Rica 7-0 and then ties with Germany 1-1. So, it's just there's been a lot of exciting games. Good old USA can't score a goal. I think they're zero. They scored one goal and both of their matches have ended in ties. So they have to win this one, the last game. So there's one more round before the group stage is over to see who advances. So
good
maybe
luck,
next week. Yeah. Thank you. Next week we'll see if I have this kind of energy while we record and be like, oh, it's so sad.
How do we care?
Yeah. I'm glad you watched that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving past your happy time.
Yeah.
What are the other news? Okay, here's a quick tidbit of news. This is interesting. Ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
So, Glass Onion, the sequel to Knives Out, was just released in theaters this last weekend over the long holiday, and it opened in third place, made like $15 million, and it opened with a small amount of theaters too. Like it opened with like 1/6 the number of screens that Wakanda Forever is playing on, which is a tiny amount, but it made like 15 million, which is like, when you think about it, the amount of people per theater is probably like 3 times the amount of people per theater for Wakanda Forever, which is a hell of a thing, number one. And number two, the craziest shit is, this is a direct to Netflix film. And this has no business almost being in a theater, but it's a very theatrical film that they spent a lot of money on. Dude, this film might make like another like, I don't know, 20, 30 million at the box office for a film that's going to be on Netflix in, I think, 3 weeks. Like that's saying something. This is like the new model, I think, that these like streamers might be coming out with, like make a big movie, put it in theaters for like a month ahead of time, and then drop it on like Netflix. What are your thoughts there?
I personally just want to watch it. And I'm like, why are you making me wait a month? You know what I'm saying? You're Netflix, right? Why isn't it on my TV? But anyways,
I think the thing there, if it's a big grand spectacle, like a really big fun movie that you can watch with a fun audience, dude, you can't replicate that at home. That's awesome. That's an experience. And if you have an experienced film like Top Gun, watching that in the theater, you want to watch it in the theater. I totally get that, but that's crazy that it's like it's starting to come full circle where these streamers are going to start putting big big movies in the theaters. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little news tidbit for everyone. And it's also getting fantastic reviews, The Glass Onion. So looking forward to that one.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'm not sure how many people have seen the first one. Like it was popular and it did really well in theaters, but would I say that the average moviegoer watched that? Would I say like that Marvel fans, superhero movie fans watch that? I don't know. Right? Like what kind of audience does Knives Out have? A more mature audience for sure.
Definitely.
So just curious. Just throwing it out there.
No, it's fun. But we'll find out. I don't know if they're going to release numbers, but it's still very impressive.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Moving on.
Right. Moving on. What we watched. Touching back a little bit to my football watching. Amazon Prime released a new docu-series. It's called Good Rivals. And it focuses on the rivalry between the United States and Mexico and everything that's attached to playing the game to all the political stuff. It's pretty good, man. I'm like, I was reliving a lot of things that were good and a lot of things that were bad. I think it was pretty fair. Like the journalistic point of it. Like there's a couple things I'm like, oh, that's leaning a little United States. I mean, the documentary's in English, but it has plenty of Mexican players and people. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's on Amazon Prime. If you guys are interested at all with the Mexico-United States rivalry, this is really cool.
Yeah, actually, on your recommendation, I started to watch it this morning. I didn't have a lot of time to finish it, but I got like 20 minutes in, and damn, it's crazy. Like sitting like the border, I'm like, yeah, I've crossed that. I don't know how many dozens of times and been there.
Yeah.
I understand all of that shit. I'm like, yeah, and then like the same time, like they're interviewing like Landon Donovan, and they're interviewing a lot of players, and they're going to like the history of like the 70s, and not just in the soccer, but like the history and like political turmoil between Mexico and the United States, and like drug dealing, and I mean cartels, and just not that, but like trade wars, and
The
this guy, like,
immigration.
huge issues, like huge, like it'll be who knows, that might be issues that'll be going to the end of time for all we know. It's just complicated, and it really it humanizes it, and it humanizes like the two teams. And Mexico was so proud that America was like this huge big brother that was like the biggest, richest, most successful country, and Mexico couldn't compete with them on anything except like things like soccer. And things like soccer, they could whoop their ass every time, and that was like a point of pride for the country. And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then you mentioned Landon Donovan, the most hated man in Mexico forever. Really? That guy was the running champ for a long time, and like it's so interesting because he like listening and watching this, he thrives on that. He loves it, which makes me not hate him anymore because he's psycho. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna give you juice, bro. Like you're not that great. You're not gonna have all this rent-free space in my head, But yeah, that guy's something else.
He was a big deal for like, well, as far as like the American marketing machine for soccer.
Yeah, I know he was super talented. I'm not taking anything away from the player, but those kind of rivalries, man. Both sides did things that they should not be proud of, So, and that kind of they shed a light on that. Mexico did some fucked up shit, and then the United States would do some messed up stuff. And
I'm super looking forward to finishing it too.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's only 2 episodes. So I don't know if they're going to keep having more episodes or if it's just those 2. But
there's got to be more. It's a great theme. Like this theme, you could probably do like several seasons on this theme.
Yeah.
But
okay.
All right, that was on Netflix. No, sorry, Prime. Good Rivals.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Good Rivals.
It's good. Let's check it out. All right, next thing. What else we got?
All right, man. Great British Baking Show finale season review. It was like a week ago, and we had to skip it. There was just too many things, but I think it gave us a chance to absorb and be able to. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll start back a little bit. I'll say this is probably one of the weakest seasons ever, at least in my eyes. Like one of the things I think about when you finish the show, it's like at the end of the season, you're like, you know what? I would watch a show starring these folks. I would probably buy a book by these folks. You know what I mean? Because like some people are just like fantastic. They're like, these guys they got their shit together and they connect with me. At the end of this episode, like Sandro's the only person I could see like doing some kind of a show, and zero books, zero anything I would really be interested in. I think this was the weakest season of all. I don't know what happened. The Mexico fiasco episode was its own and then there's a lot of stumbles along the way. I don't understand if it was like the selection process or I have no idea what happened. What do you think?
Is the UK running out of bakers, bro? What's going on?
Yeah, something.
My thoughts. Usually, after watching a whole season, there's at least 5 times that I'm blown away by the dessert or pastry or the bread or
some inspiring.
yeah, like at least 5 times. And then I can't remember one single one where I'm like, most of the time I'm like, oh my God, I hope it makes it to the table. Or like when they have to move things or, I'm like, oh, I hope it stays on there while they do this. So it's more of a, like, I don't know, like a pulling for them instead of being in awe or inspired. So, and again, it was mediocre at best, the baking. But as far as connecting with the people, I didn't really have that connection with anybody. Nobody brought me that sense of like, oh man, that's really cool, really nice, nice to engage with this person and really pulling for them. I mean, some of them were really nice, but I just didn't connect 100% with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was the editing or how they were shooting or just
Yeah.
I have no idea where the fault lies there. It just didn't
Yeah.
it didn't have the magic the last several seasons, which is kind of a bummer. It was fun getting to watch it, but at the same time, I was never like we usually will go back and rewatch some of the episodes from past because like they're fun and like you see some really amazing things like chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, let's see this shit again. And they get inspired. There's nothing this season, unfortunately. But anyways, what did you think about? Oh, here we go. Spoilers. For the next couple minutes. I don't know. I think 3 minutes is good. 3 minutes to talk about the spoilers.
Sure.
All right, spoilers starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, spoiler away. What do you think about the winner?
I think we kind of recognized that in the first couple episodes. We're like, oh, the Malaysian lady, and then a couple people were shined a little bit in the middle of this season, but we kind of figured she would be there in the end, and she pulled it off.
Shabira was like the most steady, I would say, of everybody. She was like the more higher, better performing, steady people. And I had her. I had Maxi as another person who would go all the way, and probably Yanis. And I was wrong for 2 of those 3.
Yeah,
that's the thing that freaked me out. Like when Maxi went, I'm like, that episode, like, are you even trying at this point? It's just something happened. I feel like they just kind of gave up.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I'm not gonna make the trip next weekend. I just want to come back.
Yeah, it's like I got an appointment. I'm just gonna go do that. It was really odd. The inconsistencies of some of the bakers, and then or some of the other weird things, like the final show stopping finale thing. They were kind of ugly. There was some shit that I was like, that is something I would make, which is not a good thing for some of those stretches. Like that does not look like a monkey's face. I'm like, what is that?
Oh yeah, I think they should end it like. I mean, it would be boring if they ended on the same thing every year. But you got to think of like production wise. Be like, what's a real showstopper? Like really intricate cakes. You know what I'm saying? Like have cake week or bread week be the finale where they make these big giant bread displays, and like with different bread and
they've done that in the past.
Yeah, and those have been really good seasons.
And those were like, holy crap. Like those are impressive. But
so a little disappointed.
I think the big lesson with Sandro is never heard it bothered me for like 3 or 4 episodes in a row. Paul would tell him, do less, but focus on making them tighter, like execution. And then he would not listen. He would double down every time. And he should have been kicked off. If it wasn't for the weakness of the other bakers, he would have gone. So it's like, shit. I think he should have his own TV show regardless, though, because he has like energy and charisma out of everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's cool, but like even like the finale, he did half of what he originally planned to do.
Dude, yeah,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
was like so bad. I'm like, oh my god. Like, how do you screw up that bad?
Yeah.
That was
And
pretty
you
bad.
practice that shit. So you know
Yeah.
how long
And
it
then he
takes
even went
you.
in and he asked him, like, you've completed this in practice, and he was like, nope. I'm like, what are you thinking? It's
Yeah.
like, if you haven't learned, anyways. All right. So, any final thoughts on the Great British Baking Show?
I just hope that they plan a little better and maybe cast a little better. I don't know. No disrespect to anybody on the show. Just, you know, I missed some of the first few seasons.
Yeah, it just didn't have that. I hope they were able to recapture it. And I think they got a lot of flack, and I think they know they're under scrutiny for the next season, for next year. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed they tighten it up. All right, man. I think time for
Okay.
the big daddy here.
All right. We got Andor. Just playing Andor. The
Andor.
season finale, man.
We got Andor. What's up?
What's up,
Um,
dude? Like, are we gonna
yeah.
just
How are you? How are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
All
Little
right.
spoiler free section right now.
Okay, spoiler free
I
section.
um I thought that the series, like the first episode, was a little slow because you didn't know what was going on, but building all the way through the season, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
all
And they're
the
planting
sides,
seeds along the entire way.
yeah, all the side storylines that were developing through the season basically were tied up to the season finale, and they did a great job to juggle everything and put it together and have like a really impactful ending and leaving you wanting more. So props to the show, the writers, everybody involved. It was amazing.
I think it's probably one of my top 3 shows. I'm not it's hard to say top show of the year. I wonder if I'm overly influenced because I had 0 expectations for the show going in, and then I saw
Yeah.
the trailer, I'm like, "Damn, this looks pretty legit." And then by, like, episode 3, I was like, "This is really good." And then by, like, episode 4 or 5, especially by 6, I
Mhm.
was like, "This is the shit. This is, like, 10 times better than any other Star Wars thing we've
Mhm.
gotten in the last, like, I don't know how long." Because it has, like, characters you care about, and there's like logical choices that have been made, hard choices that have been made, and the entire show takes place in a moral gray zone. And that's
Mhm.
something they almost never ever explore in the Star Wars world. 'Cause it's always like the good guys were like the Jedi's and the rebellion, and the bad guys were like the Nazi fascist guys, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they don't explore anything, and this they get
Yeah.
into the nuance of everything. But that being said,
Yeah.
spoiler
Like
time. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, real quick on the morality thing and stuff like that, and like in the movies and stuff, they deal with this great consequence, but they never show the actual consequence. You know, like
Yeah.
there are people on the ground. You know, like how things get affected. You know, like from
It's like
the
yeah.
prison, and then how it pollutes the water and this guy's planet, and like these people, not being able to cultivate their culture and stuff like that because the empire slowly grinds everything away and it just takes everything away, and that is never shown. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, it's all ground level. You see like
yeah,
farmers get like their
yeah,
land stolen. And it's like all, like generations of these people, tribes have like gotten all their shit stolen by the empire because they just want more everything, more industrial complex of weapons and
yeah,
bases and everything. It's like conquer, conquer, conquer at any cost. And then the cost is finally coming to bite them in the ass.
yeah,
It's so good. It's so good. Like I
yeah.
never would have guessed. This is so good. All right. Spoiler time. So
Spoilers.
we're gonna keep this to like 15 minutes. We would have a timer here, so if you don't want to you want to get things spoiled, please fast forward 15 minutes. All right, timer is starting. Ready? Ready? You ready for
Yeah,
this?
I'm
This is
ready.
gonna get wild.
All right, here we go.
Ooh. All right, here we go. Spoiler zone.
All right.
Top so we already talked about what we liked. Top moments. You want to get into top moments?
Top moments, sure. A couple of great speeches.
Dude.
Luthen in the previous episode, and then in the finale, Marva coming out with a giant hologram out of a little
Yeah.
robot. And man, like that was such a great speech. It gave me chills and stuff. And the darkness is not visiting anymore. It's here to stay. You're like, oh shit, they moved in. Now we gotta fucking kick it out. You know, like yeah. That fucking shit moved me, dude. That was a great fucking speech.
And they had Fiona Shaw, great actress, which I had no idea she was even in the show. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Fiona Shaw?
Yeah.
She kills it, and then she comes back at the very end after she died. I was like, damn. And I love how like the whole thing is kind of like about his mom, and they know, and they're waiting for him, and it's like a big deal, and the whole town has like their ceremony,
the progression,
and the brick, and I'm like, that is such a crazy idea of like,
and they just kept building up more and more and more. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. That was a great moment.
It was cool. Some of the what's another? There's so many great moments. I love how Andor was kind of along for the ride for a lot of stuff. Like he was definitely involved, but he wasn't involved knowing like the consequence, like you were talking about, like after the robbery.
Yeah.
They revealed that they just doubled the prison sentences, and they're arresting all these people that had nothing to do with it. And he's starting to realize like, I caused this, and like now I gotta like get us. I'm gonna try to get us out of here at the same time. Yeah, I thought that was fascinating. The consequence of like the unintended consequences of like a rebellion. He wasn't even a rebel at that time. He was just trying to live his life and do his own thing. And every episode, he got like more enlightened and more enlightened. Like, damn, this shit is real. Like it's now or never. And it kind of culminates with a speech at the very end. And you're like, yep, it's on. And then he makes a choice at the very end where he's like, tells Luthen, like, I'm all in or kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great too. I love how he left the gun there. Like I'm fucking serious. There, you want to kill me? Right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Luthen was like, this guy's right on par with my speech to the other homie the other day. And I was like, damn. Yeah, so with that is like the speech is also a huge highlight. Episode 8? Was it 8 or 9? 9. You do get not just one speech, but 2 speeches from 2 characters that you did not see coming.
And it was 10. Episode 10.
Episode 10. Dude, that was a highlight for me. That episode was like just, oh my God, it was so good. So good.
Yeah.
The drama and like the character and their eyes and their seriousness and like the weight of the situations is like placed in front of you. But that was a highlight. What else you got?
Yeah, little things. I mentioned that before, like the way Diego Luna played Andor. Just like that, don't fuck with me. Like I'm not scared of you. You know, like you don't scare me. Attitude that he had, you know, like from like waiting to the last second to step off the floor to you know to stepping up to Luthen, either kill me or take me in. Just the not giving a fuck. The whole Tupac of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like just like I love that dude. I love how he played him, and I loved how he grew to understand what people were fighting for. So yeah, man, just the development of the character.
Yeah, the cost of being like a leader and having to like he didn't even realize like he didn't want to be a leader, but he had no choice at a certain point, which was like really like the whole prison thing I did not see coming at all for this season.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the best things. I'm like, holy crap. And like a huge shout out to the design of the prison. It's like a barless prison. It's like it's a hopeless place, but it's all open and like they know if they screw up, they get fried and die. You know what I mean? And it's like it's such a simplistic, cool, minimalistic design with massive consequence if there's like a misstep, which is like shit is such a cool design. Like we've never seen anything like that before. Kind of in Face Off, like reverse Face Off, but like holy shit. Here's another one. Go ahead. Oh yeah. The heist, it took like 3 episodes. Like they were doing 3 episode arcs, which I thought was a really awesome pacing. So when they get to like the final heist that they've been talking about, and you see them kind of practicing little bits in here and there, like marching and getting formations and looking at maps and like drawing that shit in the dirt. And then you finally get to the actual heist and you're seeing the actual real time shit. And then you see some of those dudes doing some crazy scuba diving and jumping off walls and performing all this stuff that they've been talking about. And they go inside, and of course, shit goes sideways, but they still stick to the plan. Very few make it out. And then like, which I think was one of the highlights of like any Star Wars, any TV show, I would say, plus possibly the films, one of the most gorgeous things was the eye. The eye on Aldani, that whole sequence was like, I was not expecting that. They kind of talked about it, but it was so gorgeous and so well rendered and like so well executed. It looked perfect. And I was just like the whole time, like, this is the most amazing, visually spectacular thing we've seen in Star Wars and possibly ever. I was just in shock and how smart that gorgeous and amazing visual event also led into them escaping through it to try to from the heist with like, I forgot what it was, like 60 million credits, some insane amount of money. And that was so cool. I was like this, and it all tied up to like this perfect point. I loved it. I loved it.
I just want to shout out, I guess the production or Tony Gilroy for not taking us back to fucking Tatooine for once. So Tatooine has done a lot of heavy lifting over the years, and thank God that we gave it a break. I was done with the desert, bro. No more sand dunes. That's it.
You didn't get them.
Like,
they did a good job.
And then Ferrix is not a great place, but has a lot of culture and color and different people. And I appreciated going to Ferrix and spending some time with them. And another highlight for me is B8 BMO. You know, the Android.
Yeah.
And I mean, that little guy has heart. You know what I'm saying? And
feelings.
Yeah, Cassian. I'm like, oh shit! No, don't make me do it. You know, don't make me cry, robot. But yeah. So shout out to him. I'm a little like, hey, we already did this with Wall-E. We don't need to, Wall-E. It reminded me a little Wall-E. So, and it's like my favorite. It's my favorite Pixar movie. So I was like, whoa, let's take a break, guys, from the Wall-E crossing the line there. But anyways, shout out to that Android, and yeah, great production overall. Like, dude, the cinematography, the way it was shot, it was great.
Super cinematic. Was great. Cinematic.
Yeah. It didn't feel like a show.
No, it felt like a freaking 8 hours, I think, altogether, an 8-hour movie. Like it was it was gorgeous. They didn't overdo like all the visual effects and blue screens. It was a pretty grounded show, which was like pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The another big shout out to like not holding back with Andor. Like he shot homies several times. He killed them without thinking. Like that sequence with Cousin, and they're sitting there, and then he does that twist, and you realize this guy has been lying the entire time, and he's just been testing Andor the entire time. When you look back on like their conversations, you're like, wait a minute, this guy was lying the whole time, just testing him, and he found out like, okay, I think this is my guy. And without hesitation, in the middle of a talk, bam, Andor just kills him, showing his character. He's like, this guy is bullshit.
Yeah. And you know what I like too is because they didn't overuse them, was in the season finale was the stormtroopers, where they're actually killing fools. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being the butt of a joke. Instead of being the butt of a joke, like, oh, the stormtroopers can't hit shit. But these stormtroopers were legit. And these stormtroopers were killing people.
They killed a lot of people.
And so it kind of gave them weight, to the whole thing. So I appreciate that, man. It was just little things like that, man. What a difference. This the same people, I mean, like the same costume, but just using them a little different, it gives it so much more weight. And
and threat. It's like they're a threat finally.
Yeah.
Like normally you're like, these fucking guys, you're just gonna walk into a wall and not realize it. Now it's like they might kill you when your back is turned.
Yeah, and then the commanders, whoever, all those guys were like, get them. Man, they were angry for real. And then like I felt the emotion and like the whole we gotta stop them, and then the people from Ferrix fighting for their lives, It was really captivating and emotional.
Yeah, there's so many cool little things. And like another sequence, like me and you have not talked about this. So I'm curious what you think. I loved, and I watched it like 2 or 3 times, that short sequence. It's like maybe 5 minutes with Luthen on his ship.
Oh
getting like the other ship pulls up behind. You're like, what the fuck? And they use this classic design for an old school Star Destroyer from like the 70s, like one of the original designs that they didn't use in the films.
Yeah.
And Luthen's like playing it cool. You're like, what's gonna happen here? And he's trying to play it cool, and he starts putting all his little secret buttons. And then within like a minute, kicks the shit out of a Star Destroyer and a couple TIE fighters and takes off. And you're just like, did that just freaking happen? And it wasn't like some 10-minute drawn out sequence. It was just like bang, 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 screw you, bang, 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 out of here. I was like, that was amazing.
Efficiency level 1,000 for my guy Luthen. Dude, it was great, dude. And like it was funny just to see the guy in the Star Destroyer, like the commander, the captain of the store, just like shock. Staring, like losing his shit. Like he's like losing his shit out of anger and then fear, like, oh my god, what am I gonna say?
He's about to get fucking choked by someone we know.
Yeah, he's about to get murked. But yeah, man, Luthen, man, that guy was like, oh yeah, let me my number, you know, and the whole time he's doing his shit or whatever. Dude, that was amazing. And then like the lightsaber thing with on the ship.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
That's where all the money's going for. That's where all the money they're trying to keep track of. Like it's going on that ship. Oh man, it was great, dude.
It was so cool. That was some like Born Identity shit right there. I was like, what? And it shows like how much like forethought. This guy is like 10 steps ahead of everything. And it's like, dude.
Yeah.
That was fucking nuts. That was nuts. And they have that shot of the commander on the bridge, and you see the reflection of all the destruction in front by one little tiny ass ship. You're like, damn.
And I love how
so good.
the radar part or like the dish was like just kept slowly falling apart.
Shredded it.
I love that part. Okay, we still got time on the spoiler, right? But another spoiler.
We got 2 more minutes.
All right. The stinger at the end, you let me know that there was a stinger, so I made sure that I hung around for that. And it was a really cool little payoff, you know, because the whole time you're like wondering, what the fuck are they making in the prison, you know? And why do they need so many? They day after day making the same thing. I'm like, oh yeah, they're making these fucking planets.
Years.
They're making these Death Stars. Yeah, so it was fucking
they
great.
Were like, those are just like rivets holding together panels and being installed by like the tens of thousands to build this planet. You're like, that was the payoff. I was like, dude, like
I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. I haven't heard it in my little.
I think somewhere. I think they didn't. They did not do a good job of advertising it. They shouldn't have waited till after. They should have just done a couple credits, then do a mid-credit scene. Then everyone would talk about it. Yeah, they screwed that up. But when it happened, I was like, no. Yeah. And it gave a shit. I'm like, it gave it weight again. Like, and then you see like what they're up to and how they're like using slave labor to build these things. Like, how do they do all this shit?
Yeah.
And it's cool that they just dig into it and you're like, damn.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start to slowly descend out of spoiler territory. And I just want to give a couple shout outs, man. Like, I want to shout out the casting. Like, all the Empire folks had this angular, clean, screwed up look, and all the rebels had like this dirty, rounded, scrubby, you know what I mean? Like, no one combs their hair in the rebellion, but everyone has like, they visit their barber like twice a day in the Empire, and they visit their tailor like once a week to get tailored in the Empire. But everyone in the rebellion is just like, what's that? A potato sack on the ground? Yeah, I'll put that on. Let's go to fight. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
Yeah.
I loved that contrast between the two. I love them casting Andy Serkis, who he doesn't get enough on-screen time, like in his face. He's stepping away from more of the digital. He used to just do all the motion capture forever, but now get him on screen, man. The guy, give him something good to do, and he'll rock that shit.
Yeah.
Big shout out to that. And Forrest Whitaker showing up again. He did a great job for his handful of scenes.
Yeah.
And
let's call it war.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. Oh, my, yeah, this guy's ready. And then, which I think kind of takes away from his Rogue One appearance. We're not gonna talk about that film. Like that, his character is so much cooler in this show, and it is wasted in Rogue One.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna change your view on Rogue One. I wonder how it's gonna change my view on Rogue One after like all this is over. I wish I didn't have to wait till the whole show was over to watch it again to get a full view, because it's gonna be kind of cool to just keep going with have that story and see if it changes how you feel.
The challenge with Rogue One though is the person who ran Andor and created
That you're
Andor.
a punk.
Oh my god! Here's the problem.
You're always a punk.
Yeah, that's just a given.
Yeah, bad takes,
and that's when I'm sober. Anyways, the Tony Gilroy took over Rogue One after it was like mostly finished, so like it's not a consistent film, and it's not his vision. Like he came in and took over later on, so you're gonna get a lot of inconsistencies, and I don't know. We'll check it out at some point. I think maybe we'll both watch it and we'll review it together. How it kind of ties in. That's pretty much all my shout outs, man. Like I think Cyril, the creepy dude, that guy. I kind of wanted more conclusions at the end of the show, but at the same time, like they're shooting the second season now. They say it takes place over the next 4 years, so like I don't think they're treating it like we have to close this up. Like no, we're gonna open this further. So at the end of the season, if you're looking for like a definitive closure, you're not gonna get it. It's just more they're just gonna open up more and more stuff towards the end of the first season. I think that's all I got right now, which is a lot. So yeah, no spoilers. Any other final thoughts?
No, just looking to see what happens in season 2. If they're gonna be spreading out the time, so I'm assuming that K2SA, or is that his name?
Yeah, the android K2 guy.
Yeah. I'm sure he's gonna make an appearance, which I'm excited for. He was one of my favorite androids out of all of them throughout the years. I really like that guy.
I thought because they had Alan Tudyk be the actor who did it, and that dude is so enjoyable. That dude's fun in every role ever.
Yeah, super underrated guy.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, but I think ready to move on. I think we're good.
Moving on, trailers. 1923 Yellowstone prequel starring some kind of unknown actors. Have you ever heard of Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren?
Yeah,
on the TV show.
There's some dudes from Game of Thrones too that are showing up. Like, oh damn, Braun from Game of Thrones, I think, is in it too.
Oh yeah,
they announced it a while ago. Yellowstone's a show on, and it's pretty popular and
super popular.
Yeah, I haven't watched any, man, but I really like
It's on Peacock, bro. You got Peacock?
I do. Shit. All right.
First 4 seasons. I like the show. I love it actually.
I love Taylor Sheridan. Like he's made some amazing films. He's written some amazing stuff. So I should get back into it. But this is a prequel to that show starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, and they're basically fighting like an Irish crew coming in like the farming territories, and it's how they kind of start the whole thing. And it looks fun. It looks fun. Harrison Ford looked good. He's just like, get off my plane.
Yeah, he just got a shot or something, dude. That guy is still looking a little put together. Hopefully he'll hold through Indiana Jones. But
they got like a truckload of stem cells. Just hook them up during between takes, because that dude's doing all right for like 80. That dude's doing A-okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they develop their accents or whatnot. So
like
I'm a big fan of the show, and I'm a big fan of Taylor Sheridan. I have watched all his shows on Paramount Plus. So I watched the other one, 1999 or 1893, I think it's called, with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. There's also a prequel to the Yellowstone show. So,
all right.
So I love the Sheridan verse. So I'm excited for it. Moving on. We got what's his name? Jonathan?
Adam Driver?
Adam Driver. There we go.
God damn it, dude.
A little movie on Netflix, White
Little
Noise.
Johnny Driver. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The
Anyways,
driver.
I can't even talk shit because I didn't even watch this trailer yet. I watched the White Sox. I didn't have the time.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, man. It's pretty good, man. I'm excited for it.
It's called White Noise.
It's something happens. It's supernatural. We don't know. they're stuck in, like, everybody's leaving town, evacuating, and they're stuck in traffic, and they're just kind of looking around, like, what happened? What's going on? And it's set like in the 80s, early 80s. And Donald Driver plays the dad, and they're just kind of, it's a little vague, so it's just kind of like, yeah. What did I say?
Donald Driver. What are you doing?
That's funny.
Anyways,
man.
but yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name? Greta Gerwig, I think, directed it.
Did she? I know she's in it, but I don't know if she's directed it.
That's right. She's in it, didn't direct it.
She directed Lady Bird.
Yes.
Lady Bird is pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. You said 80s disaster movie. I'm like, dude, I'll check it out. I need to watch this trailer. It's on Netflix, yeah?
Yeah. Netflix. This would be another movie that was probably fall under what you were saying, like release it in the theaters for a month or a week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's got a cast. And next trailer.
Yeah. Copenhagen Cowboy. Dude. I'm a fan of this director. I love how dark it is. And like sometimes it's like, hey, I need a little bit more info, my guy. I don't know what's going on sometimes within your movies.
But it's not gonna be happy.
But visually, I like his vision as far as like what I can take into my brain. But story wise, sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
I never get his name right. It's like Noah something Riffin.
Yeah.
On the thing it says, I can't say his name.
Nicholas something Riffin. Nicholas Wright Riffin?
Something. I always get it wrong. He's Danish, I think.
In the trailer it says by NWR. We can just call him NWR.
All right, NWR. Dude, that works so much better.
Yeah.
I won't butcher that one. Yeah,
he did Drive. He did Drive, and he did what's that other one with
Neon Demon? I think he did.
Yeah, and with Gosling, Only God Survives or Only God something.
God Forgives.
Only God Forgives. Yeah,
dude.
That was a mind fuck.
Dude, Drive was also fucking crazy. I love Drive. Drive is like it's its own thing, man. It's so good.
Everybody wanted that jacket. I wanted. I can pull that jacket off. I think.
You?
Yeah, me.
Huh?
Dick.
Dude, I wanted the cars. There's some cars in that movie. I'm like, yeah. Dude, that chase scene in Drive. See, we're getting off topic. Copenhagen Cowboy. But yeah, check out Drive. There's some amazing chase scenes. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is amazing. Good. But yeah.
Have you seen did you watch this trailer?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who the actress is, but it looks good, man. It looks interesting. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's someone, like a young lady in Copenhagen getting revenge. Like, it's just a neon filled. The entire film takes place at dark, and a lot of people are going to be getting what's coming to them. It's not going to be a happy film.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Like, even if it's not that great, it's going to be visually stunning and probably fun and probably a couple of shocking scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm all about it. I'm so excited.
On Netflix too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild.
Yeah.
And that's in January. First week of January, it's going to drop on Netflix. I know. So they're going to wait till after the year ends. Yeah. But they don't want to ruin your year. This is not going to be a happy one. It's going to be good.
They just want your year to start like shitty.
I'm glad I am. All right.
Moving on. On HBO Max, they released Shaq, a documentary series on my guy Shaq. I don't know if you're a fan or if you follow, but man, this guy, he's like, it was one thing when he was an NBA player, but now a personality and a commentator and a DJ and all these, a spokesperson, multi-business owner or whatever, entrepreneur. Man, it's like he has it's like he's bigger than he was before. So I'm fascinated by him and I'm really looking forward to watching this and getting to see behind the curtain, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm curious. Listening to you talk about it, I'm more curious because everyone's everyone is familiar with Shaq, but not like post Shaq, where he's probably making all these deals and doing his thing.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting because, dude, he's like on online. You always see like stories or like, oh, Shaq went into the store and bought some guy's engagement ring for him. He just said like, oh, you want that for your lady? Okay, I got it. Just random acts of kindness, bro. And so yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I don't know how many episodes, and like the last couple of years, he's had a lot of I guess a death in the family. He lost his sister, his mom, and so he's had some hard times and stuff. And Kobe was like a big thing. They were, they were like teammates, and they're kind of like frenemies, but they loved each other after everything, and then he loses him. So it's gonna be interesting to see what points of his life it touches.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sold. That's it on
Shaq,
HBO.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Okay, moving on. All right. New to the list, 1899. This is like a sci-fi thing, kind of like a Bermuda Triangle, lost in the ocean. Should we go see what's out there? Boogala, 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 kind of thing. So it looks a little suspenseful and
is that what you hear in your mind when you think spooky? Is boogla, boogla, boogla?
Yeah. And then I hear it's oogie boogie, baby. So yeah, so a little bit of that. And looks cool, man. Looks like it's 1899. So they kind of dress Victorian style, I guess. That's what the time period is.
Yeah.
And they're on a boat and they're like, we shouldn't be messing with things we don't understand. And they're like, oh shit.
I keep seeing I can't like turn Netflix on and it not like that show just keeps trying to autoplay. Like I'm trying to just find a show and it's like, no, you want to watch this? Like, no, I don't. I'm trying to watch this. And like, here's 1899 for it. I'm like, stop it, Netflix. Like they really, really want me to watch that show apparently because they just keep pushing it. But it looks cool. Like it looks cool. Like visually, it looks cool. Like I want to hear more reviews, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna check it out.
Yeah. All right.
Here we go.
Moving on. Double feature time.
Yeah.
Inspired by ANDOR and revolting and rising up against your oppressors. We have chosen a double feature for the little guy fighting back.
Yeah.
All right. You suggested it. Yeah. And I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go V for Vendetta, bitch.
Woo! Oh, damn. And the 5th of November. We're still in November.
Yeah. Remember the 5th of November.
Did you read the book?
Yeah, I read the book. I got the book.
It's dense.
Super dense. Alan Moore being nuts as crazy as ever. Yeah. But, I love this movie, bro.
Cool.
I love this movie. The first time I watched it, I was like, and he introduces himself, and then the whole V speech with he does alliteration with the letter V, and then he asks for Natalie Portman's name, and she's like Evie, E-V. I was like, oh shit. The whole movie's got a bunch of stuff like that, and it has a couple speeches in there where they kind of like motivate you to like fight, and revolt against oppressors. And it was really well done. I remember I watched it once in the theater, and then I took my mom to watch it, and she really enjoyed it. And I love this movie.
It's a good movie. The crazy thing was Hugo Weaving like stars, but technically a lot of shots aren't him because he replaced the main actor at some point in the production, which is crazy. And I think he did a great job. And like his voice is so good. It's like the mask. You only see him a couple times, but and then Natalie Portman was an inspired choice. And then the shot of like, I remember freaking out when I saw a trailer for this and they're shaving her head. I'm like, what? You can't do that. Like, they shaved Natalie Portman's head right there in front of the screen. Yeah. You're like, shit. Yeah. And it's a bold movie, bold role for her to take it on, and she did a great job.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's a little long, but it's good. Well shot. Looks cool. McTeague, I think it's a director. He went on to direct a film that I think is super underrated is Ninja Assassin, which is like a wild follow-up to this film, but man, it's cool. And the Wachowski brothers, I think, wrote the screenplay for V for Vendetta and produced. this is like one of their Matrix follow-ups. So you're in that world, and you know it's gonna look good. It was good. All right, I got mine.
So what do you got?
Ready for mine's a little different. I was like, man, I have like 3, and and I'm still debating in my head right now. But you know what? I'm gonna go this route, like a little different. The little guys fighting the big guys who are literal Nazis in this film, even though the Empire are like the stand-in for the fascist Nazis. And the film I'm going for is Inglourious Bastards. It's like these little guys behind enemy lines, just doing as much damage as they can, trying to do their best, knowing they can't fight these guys head on, but they can ambush supply lines, they can ambush their leadership, they can move into these other areas, and it's done. It's Tarantino, man. It's such a cool movie. It's like not the most original choice, but man, I love it. When you think about like dudes getting things done in heists, like from Andor, like it's along those lines, man. It's just like a condensed version of like the highlight crazy stuff these guys have to go up against. And I was like, Inglourious Bastards is the way. I think that's the one that I think is the most like right there with like the crazy shit that's going down with Andor.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I love that movie. I think to me, it's a top 10 film of all time. All movies, man. I think it's Quinn's masterpiece, and it's the first movie that I think that looked that way, like cinematic that way. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a different film from Quentin for me, but it still had like all the Quentin things, like shots through the doorways and that kind of thing, you know, like the framing and stuff. But I love this movie, and yeah, it's it's 12 guys, or how many was there? And bastards fighting, or Shoshana fighting against Landa, and man, it was man, the film is one of the great death scenes of all time in the movie theater, and slow motion
moments.
Yeah, it has some crazy, one of the best villains of all time, one of the best introductions to a villain of all time. It's just nonstop, great scenes. One of the most intense shootout scenes ever. It's crazy how many amazing things happen in this film.
Yeah. And trying to come with like a top 5 or like moments. You're like, how do you do that? Like it's all just like it's incredible.
And it's hilarious.
Yes.
Along with all the serious technical and award baity, kind of things that it has, it's also hilarious. Like on Thanksgiving, man. I don't know how many times I said Gorlami. I'm like Gorlami. They were talking about some Italian shit, and I just started saying Gorlami.
And everyone gets it, hopefully.
And everybody was like Gorlami, and then we're like Arrivederci. Like just doing dumb shit like that. So,
dude, my family will do Gorlami too every now and then. It's hilarious.
Yeah, like, it's a great movie.
It's in the lexicon, man. It's in the lexicon because it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. We got
sounds good.
Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, let's wrap it up.
All right.
Any final thoughts? I'm looking forward to next week. I think we're gonna try to talk about Nope.
Yeah, I mean we got some things.
Hopefully fun.
Yeah, we got Nope coming up, and then we'll definitely have some more. Maybe some White Lotus. I don't know where you're at with that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And then I think we got a Nerd Corner we've already debated, and I think we're gonna get into next week.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm still alive from Mexico. Make it into the second round. I don't. We'll see. Hopefully,
surround yourself with fluffy objects, and hopefully you'll be okay.
Just a bunch of squishimals. I just want to squeeze things. It makes me happy.
You go. It's gonna be all right. Get your little therapy dogs, little puppies. Surround yourself with them. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right,
everybody. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave comments, recommendations, anything we're missing. Please let us know. I'm Francisco.
And I'm Andres.
Have a great week. 2 nerds, 1 pod. Let's go. Vamos. Sí se puede.